What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. We're gonna start off a jam-packed market watch for you duelists with the elephant in the room. TCGPlayer is being acquired by eBay, and I think that can go one of three ways where, one, it really stays the same like TCGPlayer claims it will. That almost never happens with an acquisition, although when Chicago did buy Whataburger, not much has changed. When Funko bought Mondo, it's really to help them up their ability and production quality and how much they can do with their production, and that has gone well so far, but it's a relatively new merger. This one, it could go really badly as eBay did away with their bonus bucks backs promotions, but TCGPlayer was already pivoting to put it under a subscription model, which a lot of people also don't like because that's $235 of spending in order to break even if you hang on for a year on those fees of $6.99 a month. And that's not for everybody, but it is for a lot of vendors. A lot of vendors who are doing buyouts or buying big amounts of cards, or people that are doing multiple meta decks a year even, I suppose, would be the only ones kind of benefiting from that model. If you're super casual with it, you're only buying 2 boxes, per release, then that's not worth it for you. But if you're playing multiple card games, then it is. But that's getting off track. Whenever we look at something like this, what will be very telling is how things move forward, and the full acquisition, if I read correctly, does not happen until Q3 of 2023. So while TCGPlayer can claim that things will continue as they have been, well, we will see that for a full year mayhaps, and then really start to tell if they're going to stick to that model and nothing changes, kind of like with Whataburger, even though Chicagoans own it, or will things actually begin to start to turn a little differently for the better or for the worse? If we do open to international waters, buyouts could be even more insane, or people wanting to make money and come into our market seeing our insane prices versus card market could start to play into that more directly instead of us waiting for a vendor to buy cards from over there, get them slowly, then start to list up. You remember Evil Hero Malicious Bane and how that actually helped cool the market a little? We could see different kind of things happen depending on the route that eBay implements their policies along with TCGPlayer's pre-existing. We'll have to wait and see is the real answer. Let's go ahead and get to the cards, John. Starting with Rika Sun Avalon taking Euros, and of course we have extra price jumps, cards going back up, things going crazy there. Directly with Rika's, you do have Triple Tactics talent in the winning deck. Also, it was already going up before Euros, going up even further for that secret rare, and the Ultras are starting to run out of quantities. I told you guys around $20 that I did think this was a pretty good buy overall, but it is really spiking here as of late, hitting around that $30 mark now for even the Ultra, which is the lowest rarity for it, and I don't think there's currently plans for it to be reprinted unless I'm mistaken. Let me know if I've missed some product, because it's honestly so hard to keep up with, like, the Maven reprints and which ones they are, then the Megaton reprints, and all these announcements, and then goes from the past threes probably around the corner, right, at this point. Alcay has also gone way up in price, even though it was not in the winning list from what I saw, but it is an option in those kinds of decks, and we do see its price really spike versus Hyperton, which I always say and spell the name probably wrong. It's actually not really spiking all that hard, even though it was in the winning deck, because it's in Blazing Dumpster Fire, which is in line for the Megaton, so people haven't scrambled too hard for this one, and it's only a super rare in there as well. Aromatherapy Jasmine's actually down versus, half a year ago, but starting to come back up. This is a penny stunk I suggested forever go around $1.25, so you're doing pretty good if you did go in on that. But Plant Good Stuff was highly underestimated, and the conversation around the deck has been, it's not just the player, it's also the deck. The deck was a really good call, even though the player's exceptional. Don't be sleeping on this one too hard, and it has been bubbling into the format. I know I've seen Cali Effect on this deck on Twitter warning people about it, so it is interesting that people have been on this heading into the event and that it did pan out. Now, Mystic Mine was trending on Twitter if you didn't see, even on the other page, and Beat Cop is one of the things going with it. Basically, if you're a Mystic Mine player and you have Mystic Mine and you want to put it up, you can actually end up tributing this monster itself to put a Beat Cop counter on it, or patrol counter, and that will protect Mystic Mine, so you get additional protection while getting your monsters off your field for that degenerate card. Also, the time rules have had multiple buyouts going into this. Psychic Life Transfer, which gives you 1,200 life points, ended up getting bought out through the weekend, not for past formats, but for the current one, because Cowboy only does 800. And when you're playing for time, every single bit counts. So go for game, I sleep. Play for the time rules, people are getting woken up on that one. Enemy controller was also text. Shoutouts to Blade YGO. I remember when he played this in Salmon Grates on his UDS top. This floats back into so many formats, and the first editions have been bought out to ridiculous proportions once again, around $70 to $80. Although, is it really that ridiculous for this old of a card? I would love to see this card in Ultimate Rare to kind of put the OG on notice. The Secret Rare also seeing a very sharp buyout along with other versions of the card. This for the unlims is around 7s, first eds around 8s. This is one of those ones that gets played, spikes up, goes back down because it's inconsistent in a lot of past formats, but still a really neat tech that finds its way even into modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Arch Nemesis Ashatos has 6 listings left on the freaking market and is shooting up in price very, very fast. We already covered that this one was starting to go, that people were on this card, and now it is going even further beyond and really starting to just flee the market. It's out of Eternity Code, and it never saw a reprint. Nightmare Griffin, I brought up Curious, got bought out, and I wasn't even curious how Nightmare Griffin was doing that with the combo. Its original secret rares are getting bought out very hard, and I was kind of sleeping because you do have the Genesis Impact rare. Look at that, 300 different listings. It is staying basically bulk, so there's maybe another penny stonk. Although the ultra rare and secret rare would probably spike proportionally way better if you are going in on a card. But man, people treating this guy like bulk does seem like a bit of an insult. With the secret rare though, it is spiking very, very heavily and fast, and the first editions start at $11 before quickly being around $20. You have Dangers going way up thanks to tier laments. Mothman is skyrocketing up towards the lamp that is the moon. His secret rare at $18 and the super rare at $10+. Nessie secret rares almost 50. What are we back to, like only having one printing? And the mega pack version with only 21 listings left. Let's see where it is at. It's 10, but it's quickly towards 15 here on the front page. And you kind of had your bets here, right? Because tier laments, they're going to be continued to play, and you enter a Shizu stuff and different variants will still be attempted, but then you have the Dark World structure deck, which is confirmed to be a structure deck in the TCG, meaning that people know this will see play past just these tier laments and are kind of being more comfortable buying. And also Bigfoot down to 8 listings. Wow. So people are really on different kind of versions of these cards, although there is a gold altar. People are allergic to gold rares too sometimes. Red Resonator also has a life point game kind of gimmick, and people are on this too, I suppose. It is a level 2 to top it off for Sprite, but yeah, it is around $3 to $4 for the rare out of Dimensional Guardians. Once historically one of the worst packs, it's been shown up a couple times in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Now the King's Copium is rising. Rivalry of the Warlords has gone absolutely insane, and this is actually coming back down a little. I saw listings lowest at 185 the other day. I think MCole40 covered that, but you do see around 160 being the lowest, and with that going up, the King's Copium has risen along with those bonus bucks back, and it's about $80 a box almost. You do have a couple around 77, but it is starting to trend back up from that $72 mark it has sat on for a while. If you don't know, this is one that I actually discussed before it came out. I do have a bunch of cases, so you know that I do actually use that as a talking point around the people going, oh, there was nothing good this year. Oh my gosh, it's so terrible. Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh's going down the drain. I was like, dude, only 2 things have to go with King's Court for it to be break even, and any more than that, it's profit. Had a lot of good collector rares for a world premiere set. F-Zero has been on a downward trend. The Pharaoh's rares really did flop, but on the top end, Rhoda looks amazing, Rivalry looks amazing, Lightning Storm's kind of nice but has the Starlight hanging over it, Rescue Rabbit probably undervalued, and then you have the Joker engine, which honestly continues to get a little support here and there, and people buy out and then sleep on for a long time. It's a very interesting set inside, and I do think the shield's actually a little inflated at this point versus what it is, but people are going with the King's Copium, especially with this leading the charge, which you'll find in 1 out of 4 cases for the collector rare. Yeehaw! Dimensional Alchemist at your gold rare highest rarity is maybe worth a little more money than you thought. Past format players are kind of on this one, and it is an interesting card for past formats. Also one of those techs that would get played and then not played. So people are on this, and you might have a little extra money than what you knew it was worth. We brought up the math mech buyouts a while ago. How is this going even higher? People really do hate anything to do with gold rare. The gold rare is around $2. The secret rare now charging up towards $50 lowest. You even see where we were talking about it dips back and then it goes up. People really just don't want to touch that rarity sometimes, but I understand, you know, they are a little thicker cards. You kind of have to double sleeve, otherwise you might have it identified in the deck. Always do walk up to the judge table, ask them if they can find any cards in your deck at the start of the tournament. Usually they will do that for you depending on the event. Like, be like, yo, I have cards that I'm concerned, like gold rares, they might be thicker, and I do think that is why specifically Konami allowed double sleeving within the TCG. They have yet to sell any products around that, so you know it wasn't even a monetary incentive. It had to be something like this or the Starlight rares, but yeah, do notice that they are a little bit thicker cards, and you probably want to be double sleeving when using them. Even if it's identifiable in the extra deck thanks to cards like Extrav and Prosperity, you need to be able to have them indistinguishable from other cards. That being said, it's not worth that kind of price jump in my book anytime. And I got to the cards after getting to the discussion. Let's get to the crazy merch coming from the KC store. I've never been big on this Hype Beast bear, but I've got to say this and the Burning Godzilla ones almost got me. And also, shame on the KC store. First shirt that goes up to 2XL and not the Dual Clash and awesome stuff. It's the Hype Beast bear. This clock is amazing, resisting the time to duel jokes. And then you do have this skate deck that looks just incredible, as well as this mug, also Hype Beast bear, but the pillow, the tissue cover, which is a popular thing in Japan, and then these amazing slippers will all be going up August 24th in Japan. And I think there's a lottery kind of thing to have to enter, I believe, for the Hype Beast bear, but the rest of it, I believe, should be available on the KC store itself on August 24th. Thanks for watching, everybody. This is, by the way, a OCG store, so you will have to use forwarding services and that kind of stuff and be aligned to be able to ship it to the US, which does cost a lot extra besides just the price on the screen. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch, everybody. What did you think of Euro slamming the market? What do you personally think of TCGPlayer's acquisition? Because things have already been trending differently before eBay came in, and I never really questioned bonus bucks back because it was really good for the players, and I never thought TCGPlayer would be looking to sell, but I did think it was maybe boosting numbers for some reason, and now we do see them monetize it a little more. It's interesting. eBay could bring some good aspects, but we will have to wait and see if it is downhill, if it is worse, or if it's stayed the same, or maybe even a couple of better things. I don't like to pass judgment until it actually happens, but the more competition, it is usually the better. That's why I like having all the sponsors on the channel, but they sell out in a day now sometimes on their pre-sales, and sometimes just hours depending on the hype of the set. So having the same platform run both, it does bring the question, will there still be pressured competition versus, or how will it go? Like, TCGPlayer needs to fix its pre-sales, right? Thanks for watching again. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. And I'll see you next time. The old SEMO outro.